The day is finally here, folks. It took almost the entire season.
Well,
Took
it probably
17 took
won't.
17 weeks. Hey, by the time you're hearing this, it's already out.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
already in the
right.
universe. Should be out there. Because it took 17 weeks, but you know what? We did it. We're at 50 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're listening to this on
Hell
audio,
yeah, brother.
head over to the YouTube. The moment you've been waiting for is happened. Tybo's top
Those top
five
five dance moves.
movies. They're here. They're on YouTube. Go find it. We'll tweet it out. We'll put it on Facebook. The moment we've been waiting for since what week one preseason. Like it really hasn't been that long.
I think we were teasing it a little bit before the season.
I'm excited.
It
I've
might have
been
been it
waiting
might have
for
been
this.
midsummer that we were talking about that.
It's true. That's true. I personally have been waiting for these top five dance moves for a while. I thought that I would have gotten a list by now, but nope. I've had to wait just like you.
Oh
The
yeah,
only
Sean
person
has the
who
list. Sean has been curating everything with me. We have everything recorded. We just got to slap the thing together and put the audios on. So
and Sean has promised that it is going together for, well, again, today by the time you're hearing this. So head over to YouTube, Bob and Bo Show, and Tybo's big, beautiful face will be there dancing all over the
thank you,
screen.
listeners, 50 subscribers, YouTube. Couldn't
If you
do it.
haven't subscribed yet, go over and subscribe. Maybe if we get to 100, we'll get a 10 through 6.
No, do something else, and
we'll
we'll
get
we'll
a
meet
we'll get
again.
another list.
You know how
We'll
hard
get
it was to come up with just
oh.
five that I thought I could like pull off well.
I thought we were just going with a straight up 5. That's all right. We'll see how it we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully comical.
There's gotta be there's gotta be a little bit of thought to it. Like I can't gotta be dance move that I look good doing.
This dude did like tutorials for 5 hours on YouTube just figuring out how to do a pop lock and drop it.
God. Did you picture me trying to pop lock and drop it, bro?
uh we
You don't.
no, I don't want to picture that. Well, again, thank you for the 50 subscribers. Share us with friends, family, whoever, and keep staying along for all the funny moments that we don't
Oh,
provide all the time.
I had a good transition to go in my head, and now you just
It's
kind of
gone. Well,
bumbled, rumbled and bumbled on into this one.
yeah, much like Texas's season, they fumbled, rumbled, and bumbled all the way into the college football playoffs and right out of it. Them and Alabama. Alabama started off, hey, you know what? Maybe they don't deserve to get in. They got in over FSU, and then they lose in overtime by horrible play calling to Michigan. And now Jordan Travis and all the Florida State Seminoles players are on Twitter. Oh, I guess they didn't deserve to make it. Shut up. You guys got absolutely
I was
slaughtered
like,
by
they have
Georgia.
no ground to stand on.
Oh, but
Even,
we
even with all
when
their
we
opt
had
outs, if
I
if
don't I
they
don't want to
didn't
hear it.
have
I
if they
don't
didn't
want to
have
hear it.
those opt outs, they might have lost by like half the score. But
I don't I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You want to know why? Guess how many opt-outs Georgia had?
how many?
27. You would sit here and tell me FSU and all you guys on our other FSU video that got over 1,000 views, and you guys were all the bowl game's not going to mean. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. You know why? It's not because your guys didn't opt out. It's because Georgia had more opt outs than you, and they still hung 60 on you and still won by more than 50. You didn't deserve to be in the college football playoffs. Alabama at least put up a fight. And they were not, they honestly probably weren't a better team if Jordan Travis had played. But guess what? He wasn't available. Your team sucks, and you're going to be worse moving on. Because just like what happened after Jameis Winston left your program, you fell into mediocrity, if not more or worse. The same thing's going to happen this upcoming year. Congratulations, Florida State. You guys suck.
That's them's fighting words to a lot of people that live around me, man.
Good. Show this clip to all your friends that live around you, Tybo, please.
They're gonna fight me.
They'll. You didn't say anything.
But I mean, most of what you're saying is is true. So they didn't deserve to go.
They didn't deserve to go. Like I said, Alabama at least put up a fight. It wasn't pretty the first half. It was a slaughter. Michigan's defense is a lot better than I ever thought they were. They had 5 sacks in the first half. I think they ended the game with 7 or 8. Look that up right now. But the defense first half was incredible. Alabama did make a roaring comeback and got it into overtime. But the play call at the end, you've got a rushing quarterback, Tybo, and your first thought, even if this was the Ravens, I don't think I would have made this call. You get, they have a look. Florida State calls a timeout. You go back out. Then this is fourth and goal
This wasn't
in
Florida
overtime.
State.
So
You're talking
sorry,
about Alabama?
yeah, Alabama. Alabama was up. Michigan calls a timeout because Michigan has a really bad look on the defensive end. Alabama goes back out. They call a timeout. Alabama calls a timeout because now Alabama has a really bad look. Alabama now goes out. Fourth and goal. I think it's 4 yards to go. They're in shotgun. Quarterback draw. He's catching the ball at the 8 yard line and has to do 8 yards instead of 4 for a quarterback draw to get into the end zone and tie it up to take it in the second round of overtime. One of the worst play calls ever against a defense that has been in the backfield all stinking day. Looking at sacks, 6 sacks. There were 6 sacks, 5 in the first half, 1 in the second. Um, they couldn't do anything. I mean, why regardless if you have a rushing quarterback, why in that point where there's no room whatsoever, they're running what 6, 7 up? Not a reason to run.
I was gonna say, for not watching the game, I would have to see how many guys were on the D line, but generally not a great call. At it's an odd area of the field to try and call plays, but a quarterback draw is probably not it, especially on
I'm
fourth down.
going. I'll take the option, right? My first, your number one option isn't a quarterback run. I don't care if you have Lamar. I don't care if you have Mike Vick. I don't care who you have at quarterback. Your number one option isn't to run before the pass because that then just closes everything off. You're not going to catch anybody off guard at that point.
Yeah, Saban called that play.
So, well, I mean, Saban's the defensive guy, so who knows if Saban himself actually called it? I wouldn't expect.
Well, an Alabama coach called that fucking play.
Actually, you know what? I'll take that as Bill O'Brien, the offensive coordinator. So
Oh,
it makes sense now.
butt chin. He pulled that
Old butt
from the
chin.
depths of his butt chin. So in the championship now, we got Washington,
Michigan
Michigan.
and Washington, because Washington manhandled Texas as well. I know we were talking a little bit while I was watching that game. It was a great first half. I did not expect Texas to look the way that they did. I honestly didn't expect them. I I don't know what I really thought here because Washington, Pac-12 school, not known for defense. They were honestly one of the worst ranked defenses out there against the pass. I think 119th ranked defense against the pass. But when you look back at things, they've had to defend the pass more than most other schools since they're ahead by so much every single game. Um, Texas weathered the storm in the first half. They were able to go in. I believe it was tied up, if not really, really close. And then Washington manhandles them. They didn't score a single point until under 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, in which case they made it really, really close. Washington had some poor time management skills, and Texas almost tied it up, but they didn't deserve to be that score at 6 points, a 6 point loss by Texas is not indicative on how much they got bullied by Washington in that second half.
Still, the way you've described both games, I would have to say Michigan sounds like the favorite. Um, for you, for most people, they just beat Alabama.
They did, but I'm not high on this Alabama team. And I'm honestly not high on this Texas team. As an Oklahoma fan, putting my bias aside, watching Texas play all year, I don't think this Alabama team is very good. They, I think they, I think Saban's just a really good coach and had great preparation when it came to a conference rival. When it comes to one of the better teams in the currently the number one team in the nation, It's really hard for Nick Saban to be able to prepare for that, especially given some of the issues that this game proposed due to the Michigan scandal of film and sign stealing.
Whoa.
Because players weren't allowed to individually plan for the game. They weren't able to watch film on their own personal devices. Um, so that makes it really, really tough to prepare for those games. So, given that, I mean, Alabama was probably never going to win this game. They made it tight. With this Michael Penix dude, guy can sling it. That defense is a lot better than I thought it was. Michigan, if they play like they did against Bama when they play Washington, Washington comes away like a 20, 30 point winner.
Really?
It's not even going to be close. Michigan played sloppy, a lot of penalties. They gave up in the second half. Um, Alabama was until they got to overtime, and then they stepped it back up. They about pissed the game away at the end with a muffed punt, just barely got it back, and still almost fumbled one of those snaps to send it into overtime on the goal line. If they play remotely close to what they did against Bama against Washington, Michael Penix is going to go off for like 600 yards and just smash every record. And they're going to win by 20 or 30.
Well, I can remember probably a month or so before the season started, I was working a charge conference, and charge is like it's a it's a disorder that has a certain characteristics that come along with it, but like nobody really knows if it's like it's similar to autism. Is like we don't necessarily know exactly why or how it comes about, but like it can be more severe, more disabling than autism. Like usually people are confined to wheelchairs or whatever. But this gentleman, because he was in his 30s, I believe, that I was in charge of like assisting at this conference, knew a whole lot about Michigan football, and he was like, "This is a year where we can win a championship." So I'm staying on his side. I think Michigan pulls it out.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see the same Michigan team that played Bama. I was just saying if they come out and they shoot themselves in the foot like the Chiefs constantly do, then Michigan's going to end up blowing it. But either way, this I think if we get the best of both of these teams, then we're going to have nothing but one of the better college football championship games that we've seen in a long, long time. Maybe since it was held at the Rose Bowl for the national title game long time ago.
We talking
I
about
miss
like
those days.
Texas USC.
We're talking Texas USC. We're talking the old glory days at the Rose Bowl prior to TFP and the college national championship where it was the nice glass football held up there in Pasadena, California, which I'm hoping there's some talk about potentially making the Rose Bowl the national title game every year moving forward uh, for the college football playoffs. I hope that's the case because it deserves to be. It is the grandiose of all bowl games that have ever been played. It needs to be that final stage for college playoffs.